When you were 8, a summer holiday was an era. 6 weeks felt like a geological age. You could get bored inside a single afternoon. You are now an adult. It is somehow July. You have no idea where the year went. You've done things, you just can't find them. The year has no texture. This isn't nostalgia. It isn't you getting sentimental. Time genuinely feels faster as you age. It happens to almost everyone. And there are 3 separate reasons why. The third one you can actually do something about. First, let's be clear about what's happening. A second is still a second. Nothing about physics has changed. What's changed is your brain's estimate of how much time has passed, and that estimate is not a measurement. It's a reconstruction. Your brain builds the feeling of duration after the fact, from evidence. So the question becomes, what evidence does your brain use? And the answer is memory. When you look back at a stretch of time, your brain asks a simple question: how much stuff is in here? A period packed with distinct memories reads as long. A period with almost nothing in it reads as short. Duration isn't measured. It's counted. Which raises the obvious question: why does adult life produce so few memories? Reason 1 is the simplest, and it's just arithmetic. When you're 5, 1 year is 20% of everything you have ever experienced. It is an enormous slice of your entire life. When you're 50, that same year is 2%. The year hasn't shrunk. Your denominator got huge. This is sometimes called the proportional theory, and it's usually credited to Paul Janet in the 1800s. Here's an uncomfortable consequence of that idea. If you experience time proportionally, the subjective midpoint of your life isn't at 40. Depending on how you run the numbers, it lands somewhere around your early 20s. Half of your felt life may already be behind you before you've properly started. Reason 2 is bigger, and it's the one that actually explains the summer holiday. Your brain doesn't record everything. It records what's new. Novel experiences generate dense, detailed memories because your brain is paying full attention. It doesn't have a template yet, so it writes everything down. Think about which memories you actually have from childhood. First day of school. First time in the sea. First time on a bike. First time you got properly told off. They're almost all firsts. Your childhood felt enormous because it was almost entirely made of first times. Now adult life. Same route to work. Same 3 coffee shops. Same supermarket. Same aisles. Same 6 meals. Your brain has seen all of it. So it stops writing it down. It runs a shortcut. This is like the usual thing, and files almost nothing. You lived every one of those days. You just didn't record them. Here's the strangest part of all this, and you've experienced it. A busy week at work feels endless while you're in it, and vanishes the moment it's over. A week abroad flies by while you're there, and expands into something enormous when you look back. Time in the moment and time in memory run on completely opposite rules. The reason is that they're measuring different things. In the moment, you're measuring attention. Boredom drags because you're watching the clock. Looking back, you're measuring memory density. The boring week left no deposits, so it collapses to nothing. The holiday left hundreds, so it stretches. Which means the weeks that feel fastest are the ones you'll remember having lived. So far this is all bad news. Getting older, fewer firsts, life speeding up, nothing to be done. Except that's not quite true. Because the mechanism that's stealing your years is also, if you look at it properly, a set of instructions. Because here's what reason 3 actually is. It isn't age. Age is just correlated with it. It's that at some point, most people stop deliberately doing things they've never done before. Childhood is dense with novelty because novelty is forced on you. School, growing, everything is new whether you like it or not. Adulthood stops forcing it. And almost nobody chooses it voluntarily. Which means the fix isn't complicated. It's just effortful. Take a different route. Learn something badly. Go somewhere you've never been, even if it's 20 minutes away. Sit with someone you don't know well. None of this is profound. That's the point. Your brain doesn't need the experience to be meaningful. It needs it to be unfamiliar. Novelty is a memory deposit, and deposits are what stretch a year back out. And there's a genuinely lovely consequence of this. The reason your childhood summers felt infinite was not that you were young. It's that you were curious, and everything was worth looking at. Curiosity is what made time big. It's still available. It just stopped being automatic. So why does time speed up? Because a year is a smaller fraction of you than it used to be. Because your brain stopped recording the parts it had seen before. And because somewhere along the way, the new things stopped arriving on their own and nobody told you that you'd have to go and get them. So do one thing this week you've never done. It doesn't have to matter. It just has to be new. That's the entire trick, and it's the only one there is. Hit subscribe, then go and do something slightly unfamiliar. See you next time.